What if you wrote a fully produced piece of music only by using ChatGPT's ideas? The only rule for this experiment is that we're not going to use anything but what ChatGPT outputs. None of my melodies, none of my harmony. The only stuff I'm gonna do is produce the track and make it sound great. My name is Juan Dussán. I am a composer for film and media, and today I'm making a video that is very special for Rolling. A few days ago, they came to me asking, what if you wrote a fully produced piece of music only by using ChatGPT's ideas? I've never tried anything like this. I'm not even sure how we're gonna go about making it happen, but one thing I'm sure of is that it's gonna be fun and you're gonna have fun. This is my AI cinematic composer assistant, the custom-made GPT that I made using the latest version of the platform. Basically, this AI is trained to help me with composing ideas, harmonies, melodies, export MIDI data. ChatGPT is able to export files now, and I haven't been able to figure out how to make it export MIDI files, but I can make it write ABC notation, which I can then convert into MIDI files. So we're gonna do that like process to get the MIDI information out of ChatGPT into our DAW and then get to writing. What should we write today? So we got several options here. Pick one. So okay, we're gonna make an epic adventurous theme.
Think about a journey across vast landscapes, encountering various challenges and marvels. Use a broad, sweeping melody with a strong rhythmic foundation. Consider incorporating a full orchestra with brass and strings, leading the melody supported by powerful percussion.
Create a melodic theme and a chord progression. Let's start with a melodic theme that has a strong uplifting contour. I'm gonna drag the MIDI. It sounds like this. Great. I don't know how much I like this. I would love to hear something more catchy. Come up with another version of this theme and chord progression that feels more catchy. All right, it's making a new version. All right, so it did something very interesting. Okay, this is definitely like the opposite from where we were. So I want to find a middle ground. Can you modify it just a little bit? All right, so it seems like it changed some of the rhythms. This is a good theme. The only thing I don't like about it is the chord where it ends. I wish it ended somewhere like E, so that we can go back and repeat it one more time. Do E7 instead of A minor. And it changed the melody too, to match the chord. That's great. I can definitely hear like strings and like arpeggios and epic swells. I like that. I like that quite a lot. What instrumentation should we use for the melody and for the bass harmony?
A French horn or trumpet on the melody in certain sections to provide a heroic and bold sound.
So we're going to listen to ChatGPT's ideas. The main section, A, will be the melody on brass with strings in the bottom being like lush and long with swells and all that stuff. And in the second section, we're gonna have a more epic kind of idea. The second repetition, I'm gonna add the trumpets. now we have the French horn melody. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to figure out the string parts.
Violins and violas can play stopped chordal accompaniments or countermelodies beneath the brass melody. Cellos and double basses can sustain the root notes of the chords or play pizzicato.
We can ask ChatGPT to make a counter melody for us. All right, now that seems like it's the right. He changed it again. What? Made an entirely different thing. It doesn't even know that the G in the E7 should be a G sharp.
A few moments later.
Guys, so far this has been kind of a headache. I'm not gonna lie to you. It would have taken me no time to come up with these two things, like a melody and a counter melody. I'll be honest with you, I hate the counter melody. I'm gonna get rid of it. We're gonna add low strings that are gonna accompany the melody and see how that works.
Chosen double basses can sustain the root notes of the chords with pizzicato. Subtle use of timpani and soft bass drum rolls can underscore the brass melody.
I want to add like a bigger drum. We're gonna venture into the second part of this track, which is the more intense epic adventure part. It's gotta be
gradually building in intensity, leading to a powerful climax.
I guess the climax could be the very end. I am not sure exactly. We have a melody, we have a chord progression that is actually kind of nice, I like it. And now we have an idea of the instrumentation that we should use. And that's what I'm gonna be working on now. To repeat. I want to do a little exception because ChatGPT didn't recommend this. If you're aiming for epic adventure, I think you need at some point a motor. And this motor is either short strings, short brass, or a combination of both. It's everywhere around the movie soundtrack literature of the great John Williams, for example. And so this kind of fits the brief. So I'm gonna add that for the second half. And then I'm gonna keep the palette that ChatGPT recommended. I think that really gets a sense of how epic adventure sound it is.
The brass in the second section has to reinforce the strings, and the French horns and the trombones have to provide a counter melody.
The counter melody that ChatGPT gave us was shit, so I'm not gonna use that. Instead, I'm gonna try to use some of the and turn it into a legato counter melody.
Consider introducing flutes and clarinets here to add color and contrast.
They can play supporting lines, trills, or harmonies that weave through the strings and brass, adding an extra layer of depth.
Percussion. It can be more pronounced with timpani, a bass drum making significant moments and transitions, adding to the overall epic feel.
There's also a few instrumentation things that will make this sound more modern, and this instrument really accomplishes that. So we're gonna go ahead and add some embellishments, some synth pads, synth basses, some thickness to the whole mix. Let's listen to the final version. I have added some embellishments with the Seaboard, with some synthesizers. I've mixed it a little bit and kind of like brought it up together to a decent stage where I can show you guys what I did. So let's go ahead and watch what happened. It's a good tune. I like it. I just wish it was a little different, but I like it. I think it was a good exercise, and more than perfect, I think it was inspiring. I am torn because the melody was actually pretty catchy. I actually ended up liking it. Nothing too like unique or crazy original. The harmony and the melody, I was impressed at how everything kind of worked. On the downsides, I think that there are still a lot of issues in the process of making this. I didn't like the fact that some of the notes that were supposed to be sharps weren't sharps, but ChatGPT kind of ignores that. Whenever I asked it to do counter melodies or additional parts that kind of like came from the original melody, it struggled a little bit. It either changed the harmony or changed things in the melody. Those like rules of counterpoint, rules of orchestration, there's a big room for improvement here, and I don't think it's quite there yet. At the very least, it's a great tool for inspiration. The copyright law in the US forbids anything made musically with AI to be copyrighted, so you can't own this, and I think that's important to know. We're here doing it today for the sake of experimentation and kind of research. Using ChatGPT and AI in general could be something very beneficial when it comes to the assistive part of composing, coming up with ideas for instrumentation, color palettes. I like the melody, I like the tune. It's not my favorite. I think it's still very simple. I think it has a lot of potential though to become a really iconic theme. It's just 60 seconds of music, and I wish I had more time to develop this further. But that's our experiment for today on the ChatGPT/film composition world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around.
Thanks for watching.